Thursday, February 16th, 2022. I am James. You are you. We are here live along the information superhighway that only the coolest of the cool kids referred to the internet as in the year 1995. Remember 1995? I have vivid memories of 1995. I was in grade 3. I remember needing to borrow a purple magic marker from another youngster, right? Because I wasn't always an old crotchety man. I wasn't doing a Billy Madison going to school with little kids. I had to borrow a magic marker, and I vividly remember being decked out head to toe in a gray jogging outfit. Because back in the day, the kids wore the jogging outfits, and now I know they're cool again. You see a lot of old timers walking around in the jogging outfits, but many years ago, the very old timers were ridiculed for wearing the jogging outfits. Now all the cool youth is wearing the jogging outfits. Now, this show, it occurred to me shortly before going on air, I'm the old guy on this show. And you might be asking, well, James, come on, how old are you? You can't be that much older than 44. You'd be wrong. I'm 34. That's right. I'm 10 years younger than what you assume I might be. Someone off air said that I was, quote, a little grouchy. I think that I'm a ray of sunshine. There's a reason they call me little cutie, right? Now, I know some of you are saying, well, James, you're really the only one who calls you little cutie. It's catching on. We're going to have the clothing line out soon. Get ready. Fall 2022, little cutie jogging outfit. You can have little cutie running down the side of your leg. And on the front, all the cool kids, they wear it on the breast pocket now. Little cutie. Get yours now, and you can be a little cutie. There's all these youngsters on the show tonight. Much later on, for the first time in a long time, it is the 4th installment of Assaf versus Assaf. It is where Anthony takes on Andy to determine who the ultimate Assaf is. 4th edition, the first 3 soundly went to Anthony. I'm going to tell you something. Andy demanded a rematch. I said, are you sure that you want to get into this? Because even if you win tonight, the score is still 3-1. He said, winner take all. I said, what does that mean? He said, we'll figure it out. They have gone through a variety of challenges: health challenges, math challenges, French challenges, science challenges, sex challenges. Tonight, it is the first ever debate on At Home with James. They will go head to head, debating over a variety of topics randomly selected. We don't know who is going to be for or against these topics, but they're both young men. They're young men. They're born 1993, 2 years before I was wearing a jogging outfit, right? I was walking around. Can I have a magic marker, please? These guys are still, they're breastfeeding when I'm looking for magic markers. I'm looking for a marker to color in a nice little dinosaur, something of the sort. This Andy Assaf guy, he's looking for a teat to suckle on. And I'll tell you what, nothing's changed. This guy's still a hunter. He's looking for that milk. But this show's full of youngsters tonight. Full of youngsters on this show. You're probably asking yourself, James, why is the show starting so late? Right? Why is I was substitute teaching an improv class. I said, I'm gonna make it. I was like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way looking for Turbo. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. That was the best Arnold Schwarzenegger I've ever done. I couldn't get the keys in the lockbox. I'm calling the Montreal Improv lockbox out. Montreal Improv in the heart of St. Henry. There's a reason why there's no show this Friday, because I will be on stage hosting a variety of events, montrealimprov.com, for all of your improvised theater needs. And that's the lengths that I go to, whether it's for the audience, whether it's for the improv people of the world. But I ran into another youngster at the show who happens to be on this show in just a matter of moments. You know her as a cool expert. I know her as a youngster. Born 1994. 1994, great year for Lil James McGee. That's when I transitioned from tighty whities to boxers. My first pair of boxers, they were USA themed boxers. A lot of people, they don't like the States. Yeah, there's a lot of jerks there. I have no issue with the States. You go to a sit down restaurant, whether it's Chili's, friendlies, the Cracker Barrel, they call you hun. And that's really all I'm looking for in life. I want to be a hun to someone. But there's someone who's joining the show in a matter of moments. Hun, not cool enough for this person. They use words like sick and twisted and radical and gnarly. Last time I saw this person, she was drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade. She's back to tell us everything that's going to be cool in 2022. Please welcome the young, the electric, the with it, Cathy Fagan. Cathy, welcome back to the show. You're coming to us in front of your trademark local Zellers.
That's right, James.
Now, Cathy, how's it going? You are the show's resident cool expert. Let me ask you a question. Do you think I'm still of the age that people would call cool? 34.
James, I think that being 34 is fine. I think that age is a number, but the fact you asked that question makes me gag.
Yikes. Okay, well, so you're saying it's not cool to ask if something's cool?
No, that's right, James. It's not cool to ask if something's cool.
All right. Now, Cathy, look, I'm not good at math. You're born 1994. What does that make you? That makes you 28?
That makes me ripe.
Oh, I don't think I like the use of that word on the show. Officially, that's a banned word on this show, right? But that's why I'm not cool, because you would say it and you're like, all the kids are saying ripe, all the youthful exuberance are saying ripe. I'm over here. I bet, Cathy, am I a prude?
I don't think so, James.
Really?
I think deep down you're cool. You're just a little misguided.
Misguided. Well, that's why I have you on this show. Now, Cathy, you were supposed to be here on the first episode of the year, and you sent me what I believe to be a very vague and concerning message. Said that you were at your auntie's house. There was no electricity. I responded to you, and then you literally never answered. Right? Let's work it out, Cathy.
James, I got stranded.
Yeah, you were stranded in the new year. Oh, God. Now you're back and we're able to make this work. So we're basically previewing. There's something about these sunglasses resting on the bridge of your nose that intimidates me a little bit. But this is what happens when you're around a bonfire that just emits cool flames.
That's right, James. Sometimes some questions are better left unanswered, but I'll give you a hint as to my whereabouts after that. What do you call elusive message? I was busy trying to clean up my mess.
All right. Well, let's say that is going to be an answer to a question that I will leave unfollowed up or unfollow upped. Well, right. This is off to a good start. Now, here's the deal. You're supposed to be here to preview things that are destined to be cool or alternatively are already cool in 2022. Cathy, is that what we're doing tonight?
That's right, James. I'm going to take you through some of the things that I hope to see become more popular as the year rolls on.
All right, so I can't wait. Now, as always, you brought some samples here. Now, before we get to those samples, coming in from the chat, we have a legendary viewer of this show that I haven't seen in some time. We've got Farm Boy, and this person says, quote, "Cool Cathy."
Thank you.
Now, let's start previewing some of the items that you believe to be destined to be cool in 2022. It seems like the people in our control center are ready to go. So, Cathy, why don't you let us know the first item that is going to be cool in 2022?
James, I just want to preface this one with, as we move through 2022 and out of the pandemic, hopefully, I think it's really cool for employers to care about their employees. Wouldn't you agree?
I would think that is cool, yeah.
Would you also agree it's cool for your employer to buy you some stuff?
I would say that is cool. It's one of those things that isn't necessarily expected or necessary, but I would say that that's cool, yeah, for your employer to buy you a fun gift. All
right, well, hit me with the first one.
All right, so here we go. So, folks, if you're watching or you're listening, we want you to take a gander at the screen as the first sample of what it means to be cool is up on the screen. It looks like we've got a receipt here. This looks like a sample image. So at the top, we've got shop name, and then we've got address that features lorem ipsum text, which in the text world is classic placeholder text. And it looks like in this hypothetical, Cathy, your employer has spent what looks to be $16.05, 50 cents on you. So this is a sample item to reinforce that employers buying employees gifts is cool.
No, James, you got it wrong. We're talking about talking about expenses. When your employer allows you to expense stuff, it's a gift of a sort, I would say. Cash receipt.
Okay, so what's cool about this is a taxable write-off and an expense.
That's right, James.
Okay, so in addition, so just so I'm clear and everyone else is clear, not only is it cool for God, the way that you're looking into the camera is really something. Not only is it cool for an employer to buy an employee a gift, but it's also cool to use it as a business expense.
That's right, James.
Right.
You travel
Cathy,
places with your employer, you need to pick up a little snack on the way back from work.
Yeah.
You want to be competitive these days, you gotta pay up.
All right. Now, Cathy, can I ask you, this is a person, you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Nothing's personal.
Now, Cathy, my personal question is, have you done your taxes yet? Or you done your taxes?
No, I don't do those.
You don't do your taxes? Where are you going, Cathy? All right, maybe that was too personal of a question. Why don't we move on to the next item, Cathy, in terms of what it means to be cool and things that are cool.
Okay. So
all right, so this looks like a stock photo of I'm gonna assume it's a man, but instead of a neck and a head, there's a light bulb in its place. Now, Cathy, would you like to explain this one?
James, I'd like to believe that you have the ability to see past the literal.
Sure, yeah, I would say so.
What do you think this picture is? What do you think this
so if it's not the literal, I would say like that maybe, if I were to interpret it, we're all full of bright ideas.
Oh, you're on the right path.
Okay.
My answer is in 2022, I think ideas guys will be cool.
Ideas guys? Now, would you like to expand on what an ideas guy is?
Yeah. Usually there's the people that execute. I'm talking about the people who throw out those ideas.
Okay, so people that are like in brainstorm sessions, or is in the business world, we call it a think tank.
That's right, the think tanks of the world, but not just any think tank. An independent think tank.
Okay, so an independent thinker. Someone that maybe is against the grain, they break free of general and usual convention.
Yeah, they're a little bit rebellious.
All right, now can I ask you a personal question?
Nothing's personal.
All right, now would you say that you have that same type of rebellious spirit? Would you call yourself an ideas guy?
I'm thinking about moving that direction, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm going to see how it goes in 2022. If it's on the upswing. Right now, nobody likes the ideas guy right now, but I think that they're going to start liking the ideas guy.
Okay, now I guess the question is the fact that people are not really into the ideas guy, does that make the ideas guy cool? It's not yet fully accepted?
Depends on the ideas guy. Are we talking about someone who's a little bit aloof? Or are we talking about somebody who's a wiener?
Wait, hold on. What was that second one? First one, you said someone that's a bit of aloof. The second one, you said?
Or are we dealing with a wiener?
A wiener. Okay, so let's pose the question to you. Would you rather deal with someone who's aloof, or as you put it, a wiener?
Depends on their ideas.
All right, so I guess the question is, what's the type of idea that a wiener might have? And what's the type of idea that an aloof person might have?
An aloof person might not care about exactly how we achieve it. He
Yeah.
might be a little bit more unethical
Yeah.
to get
And a
to a
wiener?
goal. A wiener wouldn't want to upset anybody in the process.
All right. So they're playing it safe, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but they're like super vocal about making sure that nobody gets hurt.
Okay, so maybe just a little bit too caring, right? Like, I just want to put this out there, and I want to make sure that everyone, one of those types of wieners.
Yeah, like nobody wins here. All that matters is that we all have fun.
Now, Cathy, I want to say something here. Now, people watching, and frankly, even you might have not thought this. That's something that you and I have in common. I also think that those types of people are wieners.
Good.
All right. Now, before we move on, I want to thank SGDL87 for subscribing to the channel. This is the first subscription in probably a year and a half. Cathy, what do you think about that username, SGDL87?
It's elusive. I like it.
All right. Let's move on to the next cool item. Once again, thank you very much to SGDL87. I'm hoping that's someone born in 87. I'll tell you that right now. Now, Cathy, why don't you tell us what this picture means?
You know, sometimes I think
Now,
about.
Cathy, you just went out of frame to laugh, right?
No.
All right.
Just picking my cigarette off the ground.
I wasn't aware that you were smoking. You haven't taken one drag this whole segment. It's just sitting in an ashtray and fell onto the floor.
That's right.
All right. So let's hear about this picture.
So, James,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I want to ask you a question.
Cool. Yep.
What did you do this year on your birthday?
Well, my birthday hasn't happened yet. You mean
Of
last year?
Sure.
Last year, yeah, I'll tell you what, I went to the park with a few people, and I'll tell you what, I really didn't have a great time. I don't do well on my birthday.
What do you mean by I don't do well?
Well, I would say that as the years have gone by, people, and this is not a complaint, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or blow smoke up what I would, or maybe some people would refer to as my arse, pardon my French, but it seems like people enjoy celebrating my birthday, but then I end up planning my own birthday, and that feels lame to me. And then I spend the whole time, are people having a good time? And I don't spend a lot of time worrying. That's right. I did say smark instead of smoke.
You did say smark. James, I gotta say, this slide, when I asked you that question, I was hoping you'd say one answer, and you said the opposite.
Okay, what did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say nothing. You didn't do nothing.
Okay, is that what you did on your birthday last year? Nothing?
That's right, James. And I'll tell you
and
what
I realize it's a personal question. I understand.
No,
that.
Nothing is personal.
Okay, so I made the error of doing something on my birthday when I should have done nothing.
Not only should you not have done nothing, you should have forgotten your own birthday.
That's very cool. Now, how does that relate to this photo?
This guy probably forgot his birthday.
Hey, he seems like, oh my God, I forgot my birthday. It was 2 months ago. Hey, that's crazy. I forgot my birthday. That's pretty fun voice, right, Cathy? That little voice I did?
Pretty fun, James. I gotta say, sometimes you crack me up.
Yeah. Do you want to try the voice?
Absolutely not.
All right. So this is a guy that forgot his birthday, and he doesn't seem like he cares. So you're saying that in 2022, it's cool to forget your birthday, do nothing, and not care.
That's right. Remember it a couple days later.
Now, I also, again, we had their first subscription in a long time. We got a first time chat from viewer. Now, this is a pretty cool username, Cathy. Tell me what you think about this. MG Zozy.
Sounds like a tool.
What's that now?
Just kidding.
Yeah, well, they said, quote, and this is going to appeal to you. They said, quote, your friends are wieners.
Well,
But again, you think this person is a tool. So look, I don't decide what's cool. You do. So let's move on to the next slide.
sounds like that guy needs a date.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll give some advice on how to. All right. I can't believe what I'm seeing on screen right now, Cathy. This has to be breaking. Are you getting your cigarette again?
Yeah.
Yeah, you must have a lot of burns in your carpet there.
No. I put it out on my leg.
Well, all right. Well, let's now look. This slide says James McGee is cool. It's written in like children font.
So I thought this one would be an interesting one to talk to you about because James, I saw this one on your Facebook.
Yeah, this is true. This is a banner that I used on my Facebook profile page some time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, you posted it.
So am I to understand that you were going through my Facebook photos in preparation for this segment?
I don't have Facebook.
All right. Okay. Would you like to expand on this image? Okay, look, hey, look, it's a personal question.
No. James, if I not tell you anything this whole segment?
Nothing's personal.
That's right.
All right.
This is so I know that this segment was about things that are cool in 2022, but this one's a controversial one.
I can't believe this is controversial. All right.
So the question I want to pose is it cool to say you're cool?
Is it cool to say you're cool? So you're asking me the question.
There's no doubt that writing this in paint and calling yourself in your full name is not cool. However, I just want to illustrate the concept of taking ownership over your coolness.
Mm-hmm.
So, James, what do you think?
What do I think? Now, is the question, do I think that I'm cool, or do I think that the drawing that I did is cool?
Why'd you post it?
I guess at the time I thought that it would be humorous to post something so flagrantly and poorly done. I thought no one else on Facebook would have the audacity to make the claim that they are cool. So I would say that the impetus of this was satirical. It wasn't that I was sitting around desperate to be cool. It was that people would log on to Facebook and think, why did he do this?
James,
Okay, the glasses are down.
that might be the coolest thing you've ever said.
No, you're not teasing me here.
No.
So you're saying that in 2022, I will be cool?
I'm saying that you might have made a move that was before your time.
Okay, so you're saying that there was no grandfather to my style.
That's right. And now I'm thinking them you might be on the right path, James, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I think if you look around, there's a couple other fun ones. At one point, I put an ad up to sell a mattress that I wasn't selling, and I also put some on purpose typos in there.
Probably leave it at that.
All right. Now, Cathy, do we have any more images tonight?
That's the last one, James. I wanted to kick it off with giving you the recognition. I feel
Wait,
like...
you wanted to kick it off with your last slide? Cathy, you're laughing, right? Here's the thing. I feel like Cathy, you had a pretty good time tonight, you know?
I don't know, James.
Now I want to get your opinion on something that just came in from the chat. This is coming in from Taylor Ray, okay, who is Taylor McMillan, who appears on this show. She goes on to say that the image that you just showed, which is James McGee is cool, she claims is so fragrantly untrue. I think she means flagrantly, but she called it fragrantly. So that is that's a typo. Now, how do you respond to that? That the banner was so fragrantly uncool.
Like I said, this is something that's probably going to be cool in 2022 by my prediction. Some people just don't understand yet, James.
All right. Now, a couple quick things coming in from the chat. This is the person that you slandered earlier, MG Zozy. This person wrote, laughing is uncool, though. Now, I would say that laughing is cool. It shows that you're having a good time. How do you respond to this person that there seems to be kind of an exchange here?
I would say that he's insane and I've never laughed a day in my life.
Now, that's there's been a lot of things that have been said on the show, Cathy. So someone said that, of course, it's flagrantly untrue that I'm cool. This same person last week, they referred to me on the show as a little, and then they said the word they spelled BITCH. That was said on the show. Someone one time alleged on the show that I refuse to wear condoms when I have sexual interaction. Someone has accused me of flagrantly going to prostitutes, but I've never. You said this person was insane. That's harsh.
He's crazy. I've never laughed a day in my life.
Okay, well, Cathy, look, every time you come on this show, I am as enlightened as I am uncomfortable. I feel like we really learned about what it means to be cool. So any last thoughts to the viewers who are watching right now, hoping to amplify their cool meter in this year?
We had a good Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
No, but
yeah, well, I guess look, it's one of those things, right? If you happy Valentine's Day weekend, happy New Year's weekend, you don't need to celebrate it. So you wish people a happy Super Bowl weekend. Look, I'll tell you this. I love that. Cathy, peace. Thanks so much for being here, and let's do it again soon, okay?
You know where to find me.
I don't.
Bye.
Bye, Cathy. I don't know where to find Cathy. Look, here's the thing. People are watching that, and they're like, oh, James is putting on the Ritz. I don't deal with anxiety. I don't deal with stress. There's a couple guests who come on the show that really keep me on edge. Cathy Fagan is one of them. Let's continue with tonight's program. Before we do that, just a reminder again, there is no broadcast this Friday. I'm starting to worry about where this show is going to go on Friday. But again, if you want to see something in place of this show, doing some improv comedy, you follow me on Instagram at It's James McGee. I'm posting about everything on there, but I'll tell you what, I got a private account. I don't want creeps following me. And that, look, it's very, how can I, obnoxious to say that I'm dealing with any creeps on my Instagram, but I don't want any usernames with multiple series of numbers. And look, you follow me. I don't post thirst traps. I don't post that many jokes. I'm very shameless about my self-promotion. Once in a while, I'll post a little joke. Anyways, no show this Friday. Let's move on to the pièce de résistance. That's not true. For the fourth time in at-home history, one Assaf goes head-to-head with another Assaf. It is now time for Assaf versus Assaf. Please welcome Andy and Anthony. Andy, how are you doing tonight?
Let's go, James. Let's do this. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Look at this. Whoppa! Whoppa! That's what's going to happen to you tonight, Anthony. You are going to get a freaking slam dunked on. All right?
All right, so the trash talk has begun. Anthony, how are you feeling tonight? You've got Judge Joe Brown as your background. What's the significance there?
Well, I actually, I just don't understand why we're doing this a fourth time, to be honest with you.
I would agree. Andy issued the same. Okay. He issued the challenge.
All right. I understand. I completely understand, and I accept it because I'm game for everything. But it just doesn't make sense to me that we would do it a fourth time. We've already established for 3 times in a row that I was better than Andy.
Fake.
And so why would we have to do it a fourth time?
Fake news.
I mean, it's just like you said, James, at the beginning of the show, right?
Rigged.
Even if he wins today, it's still 3-1. Who gives a shit?
Rigged. All rigged.
Andy claims that it's winner take all, but I want to talk about this a little bit. How do you respond, Anthony, to Andy's claims that it's fake and it's rigged, right? He has alleged that a lot of the questions skew in your favor. Again, they're all random. I don't put these together. It's Devin as well as the other members of our production team, and I don't think anyone's got an axe. Devin's never had an axe to grind with anybody. How do you respond to those claims that it's rigged, Anthony?
I mean, look, if it's rigged, which it probably isn't, I have no idea because I'm not involved in the preparation.
Okay. All right. We all know that you got the questions in advance. Okay. We all know about the documents were leaked, Anthony. You don't have to freaking pretend here anymore. Okay, that this was a fair matchup.
Documents.
But now I got WikiLeaks that say otherwise. I got insider information here. Okay. So now it's on even playing field, and I don't think you can cheat at today's challenge.
Okay, well, look, again, the time for talk is over. As I mentioned at the top, there's been a multitude of tests here. Quizzes, things of that nature, health, science, math, French, we've done it all. Tonight, for the first time ever, we are having a debate. Now, all these topics are randomly selected, and you are both designated with a position. Now, you might be truly in favor of this position or truly opposed, but in the nature of a debate, we have to do our best to find all angles. Do we understand the rules?
Absolutely, James. You know, they call me the Ben Shapiro of Montreal. Okay, I got this in the bag. You know, I've had a girlfriend leave me to go to law school, so I'm pretty much a lawyer.
Who calls you the Ben Shapiro of Montreal?
You know what, James? I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get right into these positions. I want to do these moots. Right. I want to do these hard-hitting argumentation. Let's go.
Okay, so the first one is very topical right now. I'm looking at everything. It's being sent to me in real time. Okay, so as you both know, the Winter Olympic Games in China are underway. Now, a hot button issue, at least online, has been the validity or potentially lack thereof in the women's hockey portion of the Olympics. Some say that it is so unsided in favor of Canada and American teams that there's no real use in having women's hockey in the Olympics. Now, you've both been designated a position. Anthony, you will be arguing for keeping women's hockey in the Olympics. You have 1 minute, and your 1 minute begins now.
First of all, there should always be more women in all sports. It just, you know, it's not all about men throwing their testosterone and their big dicks around on ice, on the court,
come
on the field, or anything like that. It should 100% be all about diversity, all about having. There should, I mean, obviously they should also allow trans women to play in those teams, sure. Trans men in the men's hockey teams as well. I'm all for sports are for everyone, and that's it. That's the end of my time.
All right, Andy, that you came right in under time. So once again, to recap, Anthony is arguing for specifically keeping women's hockey in the Winter Games.
I have to argue against women playing hockey in the Olympics?
Look, Andy, I'm not of the opinion that you have that opinion. If you do, that's your opinion.
Okay.
Andy, part of debate is that looking at all sides. No one is saying that one position is right and one position is wrong. This is a discussion topic that is in the news. You've been designated with the position of being against keeping women's hockey in the Olympics. And your time, 1 minute, starts now.
God damn it. Okay, well, I'd like to open my remarks with a quote from my opponent here. He said he doesn't like the dick swinging on and off the court. I'd like to just point out for the record for the judges that, of course, he's trying to misalign me. It's an ad hominem, of course, against me who was on a court recently, okay? With that aside, Okay, with that aside, let's be real here, folks. Who made the Olympics? It was the Greeks, and the Greeks are famous misogynists. So if we want to maintain the spirit of the games, I think any Greek, maybe even on the show, that comes on the show often, would agree that maybe we should keep this fellas only. All right, ladies, take a break. Fellas, let's do the sports. Ladies, you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's what I say. Don't worry about it. Who wants to play a sport? And I yield my time.
Andy, that is your time. So you were arguing, as a recap, against keeping women's hockey in the Olympics.
I just want to be clear, this is not my opinion.
Can I just clarify something? Andy, you literally just said that women shouldn't be doing sports ever.
Okay, no.
I also will
sports.
say that he made disparaging remarks about Greek people, specifically Demetrius.
That I stand by.
Coming in from the chat, this is a first-time viewer. This might take the cake. My favorite username in the history of this show is Feet. This username might take the cake. Slop Girl. Quote. There's never been a better first-time chat remark, and the quote from Slop Girl is, "Andy hates all women. # cancel him."
Look, I thought I was entering into an honest and fair debate here where we can have a Socratic dialogue, and we aren't just going to cancel each other, okay? Cancel culture. I can't continue debating if Anthony's going to deploy bots like this that are probably Russian backed. What American funding do you have, sir? What American funding?
I say, gentlemen, but Andy, I'm going to need you to calm down. This is going to come back around. Anthony, we're going to go to you, then we're going to go to our next topic of debate.
I just want to say one thing, and it's that I haven't said anything. This is all your talk, Andy. You're the one who kept saying things that maybe you believe in. Who knows? I mean, I don't know if you believe that women shouldn't be doing sports or not.
James, who?
You've definitely never like actually told us if you actually believe in it before or
I
not,
want to be clear. Now, it's very easy to take that to a misogynistic standpoint. The argument, hold on.
It's very easy.
The argument being made is that it is not a balanced playing field. But again, these are not my opinions. We're going to move on to our next
James, who's
debate.
choosing who gets to argue what side?
It's in a randomizer, Andy. And again, like I mentioned, it's going to go back around. Now, look, the longer we debate the debate topics, the less time we have to talk.
You're right. I could debate anything. Go for it. Let's go.
Great. Okay, so I'm being sent the next topic. Okay, so this very important issue: drinking and driving.
This is easy. This one's easy. Let's go.
It is a hot button topic, not only now, then, and forever. It is one of the most unpopular things that one can do, but at times people argue that just because you have a few drinks doesn't mean that you can't get behind the wheel. Anthony, you're going to be starting this one off again. You are going to be, and I'm getting the official word now, you are going to be arguing against drinking and driving. Now, again, Andy, you were arguing against in the first round. In this round, Anthony,
it makes total sense.
You will be arguing against people who make the decision to drink and drive. We begin now.
So it's a very simple thing. Drinking and driving kills people. I mean, we all know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who has been in an accident involving someone who has been drinking and driving. It's also one of the reasons why the driver's license is harder to get in Quebec than in other places, because there were so many drinking and driving accidents that people that the government decided to crack on it and just make sure that it would be harder to get, so that the people who do drink and drive get punished even harder. And that is why I stand against drinking and driving, and I challenge anyone to be pro drinking and driving.
And you have come in right at the 60-second mark. Now, again, Andy, I don't know if
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. No, everything I'm about to say, I'm not even going to put a caveat on. Let's go. Okay.
All right,
for
Andy,
drinking and driving.
Now, Andy, let's relax. to clarify, you have 1 minute to argue for drinking and driving and why it's not as much of an issue as some might say. Your 1 minute starts now. You're for drinking and driving.
I'll start by saying this. I won't push back against anything you said, Anthony. My opponent has outlined clearly the dangers of drinking and driving. However, you're welcome, but I would like 5 seconds added, please. However, for all of those who have watched an episode of maybe HBO's Euphoria, you might have seen the character Nate crack open a nice cold American beer while he drives his American truck. And it looks pretty fun. Now, I won't argue that we should abandon all laws around drinking and driving. That would be foolish. However, I pose perhaps an alternative, a third way. What if we had separate lanes specifically for people who are intoxicated at the wheel? Literally, no rules apply in this lane. We could have a drinking lane, like we have a carpool lane. These people could
now,
maybe.
Andy, your time has expired, and just to
I
be
think
clear,
I made my point.
It sounds like
I think I made my point.
It sounds like you've settled on special and specific lanes for people that are driving while inebriated.
I think I'm pro drinking and driving segregation, but only for that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on.
May I just note one thing?
Of course, yeah. We have time for rebuttals.
Andy asked for 5 extra seconds and mumbled through those 5 seconds.
He did. This is correct.
I just want to know that because that is.
It is. I assure you that we have got our production team in the control center. Everything is being noted.
I'd like to object. Okay, if we're going to attack each other's aesthetics, debate aesthetics and a rhetoric here, then what?
Well, I don't think he said anything about your aesthetic.
He said
nothing was said about your aesthetic.
If my mumbling gets my point across clearer.
Mr. Assaf, mumbling is a speech pattern.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, which one?
Well, I'm talking to Mr. Andrew Assaf.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
We're gonna move on to our next subject matter. Now, again, these are all selected at random.
Now, do we know who's winning, or how the points work, or are we gonna come?
It's gonna be determined. It's gonna be determined at the end. And Devin in the chat has asked the audience to chime in, so certainly they're gonna have a say in this. Now, coming in from the chat right now, from Abel Abe, quote, Andy hates all sober people, hashtag cancel him. So this hashtag is picking up steam again. I don't want for us to pile on Andy. He's being designated with these. This could easily happen to Anthony as well. Coming in from Slop Girl, Andy thinks mumbling is an aesthetic, hashtag smart. All right. Again, these are pot shots, right? We're going to move on to our next subject matter. Okay. So this is something that was very much in the news in 2020. Now, I want for us to be very cautious in the position. Andy, look, I don't even know what we're talking about yet. Now,
anything for 2020, like anything.
Look, a lot of great stuff happened in 2020. Remember the celebrity Imagine music?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Now,
Gal Gadot and her friends.
In 2020, I'm getting the information now. Of course, the rug was lifted. The rug was lifted on a lot of behavior, both good and bad, at elderly care homes.
Oh, fuck me.
Now, and again, this is not related to COVID. I'm getting the information. A lot was made of the fact that elder abuse does exist. Andy, what do you look? I know this is a sensitive subject.
It's also a very serious subject.
Yeah,
it is very serious.
I totally agree with my opponent on that.
Some argued that COVID shined a light on a very, very serious problem with elder abuse, and some said that there was no problem with elder abuse. Now, Anthony, once again, you were going to go first. You were arguing for the fact that elder abuse does happen in SLDs. So you're arguing for the fact that it happens and against elder abuse. Your 1 minute starts now.
Number one, I mean, look, our elders have done so many things for us as people. they're our grandmothers, our grandfathers. Sometimes they're even our parents if we're a bit older, like you might be, James. And these are people that we need to care for, and people that we need to treat with respect and treat with humanity. Honestly, the fact that there was elder abuse is horrifying. The fact that all these people were stripped of their honor and of their what's the word I'm searching for, of the way that they are and what makes them people, is absolutely horrible, and I'm absolutely against that.
All right. And once again, right under time. So that is Anthony's remarks. So Andy, you are arguing. I don't want to say that you're arguing for elder abuse, but you're essentially arguing that nothing bad happened.
Am I?
It was blown.
Okay.
Well, apparently, and your time starts in 3.
Oh, so
2,
wait, no. Okay. Shit.
Again.
Elder abuse was overblown. Look, all I'll say is this: if anyone's watched that new rom-com with Jenny Slate and Charlie Day, I Want You Back, I very much see myself in the character Charlie Day, where I would go out on my own and start an old folks home, and let's just say none of that stuff would happen. I yield the rest of my time.
All right. So you, in fact, did yield it. I'm not sure that you made any argument for the position that you were designated. Also, let the record show and let the judges show this is the second time you've referenced a TV series as part of your arguments. So
this is actually a movie.
This was a movie, James.
The movie that came out.
Again, I simply request that we do not attack each other's aesthetics or rhetoric on this this debate. I want to keep it respectful. I want to stay away from ad hominems. And as the moderator, it is incumbent on you, sir. It is incumbent that you stay neutral and impartial.
I'm an arbiter. I'm pointing things out. Once again, there was no aesthetic there. We're going to move on to our final
May I
topic.
just ask one question beforehand?
Yep.
Andy, you talked about the Jenny Slate movie and Charlie Day movie. Do you remember what the name of that movie was?
I Want You Back.
How can I know if you've actually watched it if you haven't logged in your Letterboxd?
Again, I feel like... that is fair. I have not gotten to my Letterboxd review of said film yet, but that's not to say that it's not brewing. And again, I'd like to go. I'd like to make an appeal to the audience here that I am being attacked left and right here unfairly.
No one is attacking you. We're gonna move on. We're moving on to our next topic. Again, these are all random. Okay, so we're taking things down a notch. Again, we've had some very hot button issues. We've talked about women's participation in the Olympic Games. We've talked about drinking and driving. We've also talked about elder abuse. This one is, again, still a very serious subject matter. Again, not to rank these things, but I think this one will be easier to argue for or against. This is about, this is about infidelity.
Oh, God.
This is about infidelity, cheating on the one that you're with. Now, for the first time tonight, Andy, you're starting this debate, and you're arguing against infidelity.
I have to argue against cheating on your significant other.
Correct. Yes.
Great. Okay.
And your time starts now.
Shit. Okay. Well, obviously bad. Don't do it. Shit. Hold on. Let me just get my thoughts together here, because I really thought this was going to be flipped, and I would have to be like pro cheating, which in my personal life, but okay. You can hurt somebody really badly if you were, intimate with them and romantically involved, and you go behind their back and do the nasty with someone else. Not okay. Tell someone before you're going to do that.
That's your time.
Okay. Yeah, I think all right. I think that one might have brought me back.
We're going to you now. You have to argue for infidelity, finding your best arguments to somehow sway people into the fact that this generally regarded as a hurtful act. You're arguing for that, and your time starts now.
I just want to start by acknowledging that cheating is a hurtful act, that cheating does hurt people, but that sometimes you have to do things that hurt others to understand who you are as a person and where you stand in a relationship with someone else. So if for some reason you have problems in your relationship and you lash out by cheating, maybe it's better that something happened and that the two people went separate ways.
What?
I don't have anything more to say because I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and I yield my time.
You yield your time. All right.
Ah!
Andy, that brings us to the conclusion of the debate. We have gone through 4 topics. We're going to quickly check in as our judges commiserate. Andy, how do you feel tonight? We're going to quickly recap. In terms of your arguments, hold on now.
Okay.
You were for excluding women from hockey in the Olympics. You were for drunk driving. You were for elder abuse, and you were opposed to infidelity.
Okay. Yeah, I think overall, like, 2 of those I felt pretty good about. I mean, you know, if you let me expand a bit more on my Audubon idea, I think it's a pretty cool idea. We should probably also have like a separate airline where there's like no security and anything goes.
Andy, you cannot continue to reinforce your arguments. You had your time.
Okay. Just
Anthony,
overall, I think I did good. I think I did good, James.
Okay. We're going to go to Anthony now to recap. You were pro women being included in hockey in the Winter Olympics. You were opposed to drinking and driving. You were opposed to elder abuse, and you were pro-infidelity by way of understanding yourself and the issues that might be manifesting themselves in your relationship. How do you feel you did tonight?
I think that I did pretty well. It's honestly, out of the 4 matches I've had with Andy, I think this is the one that felt the more equal, the one where we both had equal footing, because
okay, well,
we neither of us knew the topics or our positions, so it was really a battle of the wits. And I just want to say how greatly I respect my opponent. I consider him a friend. I don't agree with him on everything, especially everything that he said today. So obviously, if you want to cancel Andy, don't cancel me. If you want to cancel an Assaf, don't cancel the right one.
Right. We share a name there, bud, so careful what you wish for.
And look, I want to say this. Like any good debate, there has to be a for and against. And as we mentioned, the views that Andy Assaf expressed tonight do not necessarily reflect those of Mr. Anthony Assaf, myself, or anyone involved in this show. Hold on. Including Andy Assaf. He is designated, I think, with any topic of discussion. I've mentioned this twice. I'll say it one more time. Whether we agree or not, we have to discuss both sides of things in order to determine what we feel collectively is right or collectively wrong. Do we agree?
It is one of the tenets of a healthy society, a society in which people can debate ideas, even if it's already been decided in society itself that those ideas might be wrong.
All right. So our judging committee, which is comprised of Devin, our production assistant, is back with the results. After 4 rounds in the 4th edition of Assaf versus Assaf, featuring Anthony versus Andy.
I need this so badly.
Tonight's champion, Andy, it is not you. Anthony,
okay.
in a clean sweep,
Thank you.
You have won the debate.
What?
Thank you, Devin. Thank you, James.
Okay.
Thank you, Andy.
All
Andy,
right.
honestly, this was honestly such a hard competition.
Okay.
I know how close you were.
All right.
I know how close you were.
Yeah, all right, sure. This is another situation of a rig thing. I'm sorry, but if you watched J-Lo and Owen Wilson's new film, Marry Me, you would know that it starts with a cheating scene, and it was stupid, and it was a bad movie, so that last argument was thrown out the window.
I will say this is that I don't believe that we were looking to change anyone's minds one way or the other, but I will say that I got a note from Devin, our production assistant. Prior to tonight's debate, he was for drinking and driving being overblown, admitted to doing it on multiple occasions. And the audience who is here regularly knows that he's often inebriated in the chat. He is now pledged, Anthony, due to your argument, to no longer drink and drive because, as you mentioned, it ruins lives.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, you know what? We'll see. I think of it more as the marketplace of ideas here.
Now,
and I think a lot of
hold on, I'm
cities are
getting
going to be
another-
buying some drunken driving lanes, personally.
I'm
So-
getting another production note from Devin that, again, due to your arguments, Anthony, that he is now second guessing whether he should be faithful to his girlfriend.
I mean, look.
It's horrible. We've admitted it's horrible, but
yes,
it's so bad. It's you can do nothing worse. But
like, obviously, Devin, if you and your significant other should talk about your issues first before going into the cheating part or something like that. But if that is the only recourse you find, if that's the only way you can have your cry for help be heard, then I'm sorry to say, but go for it, man.
Well, that feels like a great place to end things here. Andy, I want to congratulate you on your participation. Anthony, I want to congratulate you on 4 straight victories in Assaf versus Assaf to determine the ultimate Assaf. Who knows if we're going to do this again?
James, I want to challenge Anthony to a 5th round. All or nothing. Okay, because I think that your luck may be running thin here, Anthony, and this whole randomized scheme. I have some ideas for the next challenge that I'm sorry, but even with randomized schemes, it's going to be a challenge.
Okay. Look, Andy, I'm gonna say one thing, and it's I see your all or nothing, and I would even go double or nothing.
Shake
All
on
right,
it.
there you have it, folks. As I mentioned, everyone loves a sequel. Stay tuned for the 5th edition of Assaf versus Assaf coming to a Twitch screen near you. Until then, Anthony, Andy, I want to thank you so much for being here. Andy, don't take it too hard. Anthony, to the victor go the spoil. Thank you very much and congratulations.
See you guys behind
Thank
the
you,
wheel.
Thank you, Andy. Goodbye.
There you go. As Andy said, see you guys behind the wheel. I think him and Devin might be on their way towards a collision course. Folks, that's our show. That is now the end of our broadcast week here on Twitch. I, of course, need to thank Anthony, Andy, and, of course, Cathy Fagan for being here tonight. We'll be back next Monday. Who's going to be here? Dave Kaufman, and so much more. We're going to get the schedule things sorted out. We're going to fix it up. Maybe we go to 5 shows a week. That's not going to be happening, but we're going to figure something out as the days and weeks and months go on and on and on. This is the conclusion of episode 346. I thank you so much for being here. A lot of great engagement from the chat, new viewers, subscribers. Feet, I see you in the chat. You've never said anything. I know you're out there. What a great username, not to be outdone by, quote, Slop Girl. Until then, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and of course, be well.